welcome to Step to the Fun. Thank you very much for joining me today. How are you?
Thank you for inviting me.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm really well.
Great. So, this is really linked to a project I'm doing around African queens. So I am interviewing several women leading up to International Women's Day to talk about what they do and how, as a beautiful queen like you are, what that word mean to them, and then we can go into a conversation. So just to start off, can you just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and where you're based?
Okay, so I'm based in London
Mhm.
and I would consider myself to be an actress. I've come into acting quite later on in life. So I started off very much in the corporate world. So first of all, I used to be a consultant for the NHS, a business consultant. I was involved in demand and capacity exercises, redesigning services, that kind of stuff. And I kind of worked my way up within that field. Then I left to start my own business and I began to become a property consultant, which is what I still do. That's my day job now. So I still do that. My business has been running for the last 14 years. And what I started off doing was buying properties and renting it out. Then I began renovating, and then I began to get planning permission to do things like new builds, etc. So I started off in a very different place from where I am today, and very much how I am today. I act. I went back to drama school. I started practicing, doing auditions, etc. I met this lady who she had cancer and she redesigned her whole life. And I met her in a networking event and I said, "What are you doing here?" And she was like, "I'm an actress now. I went back to school and such and such." And she inspired me to follow my dreams and do kind of what I wanted to do. And I kind of decided I've always wanted to perform. Before I was a consultant, before I even went to uni, I did drama. I was on stage. I was in a band,
Wow.
and yeah, then I went completely down a different route because I think there's almost like a self-esteem issue
Mm.
where you kind of feel like, oh, drama, performing, am I really going to get anywhere, or should I look for what they call as a proper job,
Mm.
working in business, etc. So I went down that route and I realized I wasn't very happy and then changed my direction.
Mm. I mean,
So
that
yeah.
is really interesting because I think as a society, we're not really teaching our children to go for what their dreams is. We tend to be just telling people this is the safe route to take. You need to do this job, especially for art uh, related jobs. We're not really inciting our children to be artists or to see that art can be paying as a, as a job. So it's, yeah, it's one thing that I wish that art was taken seriously, a lot more seriously, as much as any other subject at younger level for children to inspire. Mm.
I agree with that. I think when I was at school, secondary school in particular, I remember our careers advice, and they never pushed you into anything that I would say was aspirational.
Mm.
So I remember I was told that I would make a great childcare worker. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing a childcare worker, but there was no other option for me.
Yeah.
And that was just literally the career option that was for me and nothing else. I At that stage, I didn't even imagine that I was even clever enough to ever go to university or to get a degree. I didn't think that could be me.
Hmm.
And I think the teachers, they have such a responsibility because they've got young minds. They're shaping young minds and directing them. And there's such a huge responsibility there about guiding people
Mm.
into the direction. And I think there should be more people coming into schools from so many different disciplines to teach people what they can be and
Mm.
what they can do.
No, definitely. And I think, yeah, I mean, so many of our children are lost not knowing where to go. And yeah, we do need definitely mentoring like you. I know you didn't mention about, I know you've worked in TV as well. You've had your own TV show. Can you tell us a little bit about
Oh, do you know
that?
what? So when I changed my career, I started off in radio before I did anything. So I was doing a little stint in radio, and then we were going to do a TV show, and it never pulled off. So I had this idea for a TV show, and I decided to actually approach a broadcaster and see how they would feel about taking a chance on me.
Mm.
So I came with my proposal of what I wanted to do and everything. I sat down and they said, yeah, as long as you can get a sponsor, as long as you organize it yourself, etc., and you bring the footage to us, we will put this on. So I had no experience. I didn't know what I was going to do. And then I went out, I found my own team. I found the venue that we were going to filming. I put the format together. I'd never written like schedules and stuff of how TV shows would work, but I was there on paper, writing schedules. This be at this time. This guest will come to this. I was doing literally everything, and I was behind the camera at the same time. It was full on, because I was making sure that we had catering coming in, so everybody was fed, watered. That I was also looking after the guests, while at the same time the makeup artist was going, well, I was like, hi, it's really nice to meet you. At the same time, everything was going on. But we got over 24,000 people following us on Facebook. We had, I think, the first show, the numbers came out, I think there was 190 something thousand people that had watched it worldwide. So we'd done quite well. It was really shocking, really amazing. And I felt really proud of myself because I had no experience, but I don't believe having no experience should stop anyone trying something and going for their dreams. So it was a great thing. And I did 2 series and it was done. The first series, I always call it like a bit like, we're learning on the job. So when you watch the very first episode to the last episode, you see that whole learning process where we started with the green screen, didn't really like it, and you saw the learning of all of us together. By the second series, we were more polished, it was more smooth. I had researchers on, I had a PA working with me, so it was a lot more smooth, and we were also on another network as well.
When is the third series? It's coming.
I know about that.
It's coming.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of work, so I understand. It is a lot of work. Right. So as I mentioned, it's the project I'm working on is around African queens. And we hear a lot in the media, people saying, I'm the queen, I'm the queen this, I'm the queen that. How do you relate to that word? Do you say you are a queen? Do you consider yourself as a queen?
I do, actually. I think all Black women are queen. We come from such a line of royalty, and I don't think we even realize that the melanin in our skin, it makes us royal. Yeah, we come from a line of ancestors, and we settle for mediocrity here. We settle for less. When we look back at different cultures, everybody imitates us. In some shape or form, everyone imitates us, but we sometimes lack that kind of knowledge of who we are and how graceful we are and how we set the trend through everything, through music, through science, through technology. We have set that trend through generations and generations. And when we've realized what royalty is in our bloodline, we should be up there smiling and grinning. Yeah, we are African queens, every Black person, and we should hold our head up high and proud of exactly who we are.
Amen. Well, so talking about any African queen out there, who would you consider as an inspiration to you? It doesn't have to be now, it could be someone who's already transitioned to the other side, or it could be someone very close to you. It doesn't have to be in the media, but is there anyone you consider, this is my inspiration, or I look up to them?
I think I've got two people that have inspired me. One person who, when I was very younger, and I was going to go into the world of social work, this woman. And this woman was director of the time of the children's charity that I used to work at, I used to volunteer at. And she was really trying to push me away from social work. Because I remember she said to me at the time, you have such a bright light about you. She said, going into social work, she's been a social worker for, I think, 30, 40 years at the time. And she said to me, going into social work will dim your light and dim you. And she just didn't want me to go into that field. And she was leaving the charity, and she made me director of a children's charity at the age of 21. Mm. And she changed the whole course of my life, actually, because at that point, I was managing a team, I was getting a salary, I was working with accountants, I was doing annual reports, something that I'd never done before. And she inspired me and pushed me at a whole nother level. And yeah, I thank her every day for the path that she pushed me on. And she led me into the business world, because at that point, I'd finished my qualification. I was actually a qualified social worker, and I never went into that field. I was directing the charity, then went straight into management at the NHS. So I was one of the younger managers, I think at 22, 23, managing a team of 5 people who they were all older than me. I came in and they were all looking at me like, who's this little girl? Yeah, coming in with a briefcase, you know, to manage them. But she changed the course of my life, and I will always thank her, because I think I would have gone down a different role if it wasn't for her. She would mentor me, she would coach me, she would sit down with me, and she was what I needed at that time. So her name was Veronica Scott. So if she's ever watching this, she knows this is, I'm talking about her. But she is a person that I would say was a queen, and she's inspirational. She left her job as a social worker. She set up a fostering, she became a foster carer, then she set up a fostering agency. So she changed and she did things. So I have a lot of time for her. She's definitely a queen. And in the acting world, I would say Viola Davis, because she sets that bar, she sets that trend. When I watch her, that is who I aspire to act like. That is who I aspire to be on stage and screen. And she's so graceful. She's so beautiful. She's so dignified. You hear her talk. Yeah, and you're just like, queen. Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Both of those, well, the first woman sounds such a wonderful person, and we do need a lot of mentoring people like that in our community to help younger people to move forward, because it's so important. Like we said earlier, we don't have, the school doesn't show our children which direction to go, so we do need a lot more of half angel, I call them, to help us. Yeah, definitely.
100%. I agree with you about the whole mentoring thing. I think we lack a lot of good mentors, strong mentors, but there are organizations who are doing that now. You've got like the 100 Black Men of London, who they have men mentors, but they also have a load of women now come on who are mentoring the community as well, and they do so much really good things.
Yeah, and down here we've also got some organization for young people, and I've been approached yesterday to mentor one on fashion and beauty. So here we go. I will be mentoring a young girl
Perfect.
in the next few months around fashion. So looking forward to it, actually. So we talk a little bit. We're almost at the end. But I wanted to find out if you are gonna advise young people, or maybe look back to your younger self, what would you say to yourself, or what would you say to a younger generation today? Maybe 2 pieces of advice.
I would say follow your dreams, really, because I went back to follow my dreams. And I feel that maybe if I started right at the beginning where I was, I would be so much further along if I didn't stop. And I think we as people, we remember I said at the beginning about sometimes the low self-esteem and not completely believing in ourselves. I would say to everybody that life is really short. In fact, life is fleeting. And what is the worst that can happen if you follow your dreams? Yeah. If you don't succeed, and because wouldn't it be better to succeed at something that you want to be at rather than being something that you don't want to be at and not succeed? So I just feel that go for what you want to do, live your life to the fullest, because literally you cannot go back and relive those moments again. Once they're gone, they're gone. Every day is one day lived and it's one day finished with, and you can't go back and relive that day. No matter how much you want to, the next day will be slightly different. So my advice is to go out there, live your dreams, and just do what you want to do, follow it, learn, study, research, and then go for it. There should be nothing stopping you. Yeah, nothing. And I even think that money isn't a prerequisite to stop following your dreams. When I did the TV show, I had no money, right? But I still believed that I could do it, and I still found a way to do it. So that's what I believe. Go for it.
Great. Thank you very much. Follow your dream.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Where can our audience look up for you? Are you on social media? Is there somewhere
Yeah,
they want to follow you in your acting?
I've got a, oh gosh, social media. On Instagram, I'm called The Real Vanessa Cruikshank, so you can find me on there. I also have a TV production company. So if you go onto Instagram again, you can find me under TV Productions. It's just Tell Vanessa Productions, and you can find me there as well, or under tvproductions.co.uk. So I'm there as well.
Yeah, and
So,
if you need advice on real estate, she's also your lady, so she's multi-talented. Yes.
well, it's funny you say that. I'm going to be doing some videos on that soon on social media. People have been asking me, so I will be doing some stuff on that as well.
Great, I will be watching definitely. And also, if you are watching this very soon, Vanessa is actually on BBC at the moment. You can watch a little clip of Vanessa on a short film called Dina on BBC iPlayer. So check that out as well. It's she's looking great in it. I'm not going to spoil the story, but yeah, Vanessa is great in it, and that's how we met actually, through that short production. Vanessa, thank you so much for your time, and look
thank
forward to
you.
seeing you again soon. Take care.
Okay. You too. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.
Bye.